Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Hi again, curling fans.
Hi, Deb.
Show.
Just in case you forgot the name, it's been so long since we've done this, yet it feels like yesterday at the same time.
Well, you mentioned how long it's been. It has been, Colleen, and hello to you and hello to all the curling fans. It has been 767 days since the last Women's World Curling Championship was played, the final against Sweden and Switzerland. Tirinzoni, the defending champs, 29. It's a long time ago. It's been a long wait, hasn't it, Colleen?
It has been a long wait. And funny about this bubble, it is the shortest curling season on record, yet it feels somehow like the longest. It's almost May. So excited, though, that the Worlds are going to go on, but not quite without a hitch, eh?
Absolutely, and let's get to it. We are expecting some breaking news to happen at any point of the show tonight. Of course, we learned of the 2 positive cases earlier this week on Team Germany. I've been in contact with the skip, and we are going to get an update, it seems, any minute now, Colleen. But of course, the last time you and I were on the air, it was havoc at the Men's World Curling Championship. John Schuster told us he believed they were false positives. All 4 cases turned out to be false positives. We know that these aren't. They are true positives. But now we wait and learn if Germany will even be able to compete.
And you can only imagine how they are feeling on the eve of the World Championship, because we did get word too, you did, that 3 members are able to practice tonight. So this might be a harbinger of the fact that maybe they're going to allow the Germany to continue with just 3 players.
Right.
But they put out this, amazing response, Team Germany, as if they needed to apologize for this, because it's not their fault when they become infected with COVID. But they're certainly, it shows that they're devastated. They're also devastated that it's happened to the other athletes, and they were certainly apologizing for that. But no need to do that. And we certainly hope the 2 players that tested positive are doing okay. And we'll see what's going to go forward. And as you mentioned, could be breaking news through this show, whether or not they, in fact, get to play their 2 games.
Well, and let me jump in before you dive for the whiteboards. At the bottom of it, of course, so crucial to point out that this is a chance at qualifying for the Olympics. Once again, let's remind the audience that the top 6 placed teams at the Women's World Curling Championship earn that direct ticket to Beijing 2022. And of course, that's on the hearts and minds of all the curlers in the bubble right now. Over to you, Colleen.
Well, sort of a little like the men's, where it was just who's going to be those top 6. And it was such a battle for those 6 spots, wasn't it?
Right.
Men's, I think it's an unbelievable field. I really do.
Tell me.
I put Switzerland on top because they're the defending champs, followed by what's her name? Anna Hathor.
Defending Olympics.
Canada and Einarson. But look behind. Like, you've got Muirhead. You've got the Garlic girls from Korea.
They're back. Yes.
They were so exciting. Remember that time in Pyeongchang? Yeah, we just enjoyed it so much. And the crowd. Energy.
The energy inside the curling venue at the 2018 Olympics. The Garlic girls were the face of the games there. We just got updated Women's World Curling rankings, of course, Colleen. Sweden at the top, Korea second, Canada third, Switzerland right behind them. So it speaks to the parity in the game. The last World Championship we have to go on, Canada, Chelsea, Kerri, miss the playoffs. So
I know.
It tells you what the teams are up against here.
Parity. 2018 was the last time we won with Jennifer Jones winning there. So, however, she's so
we know what we're talking about, but we
do, but nobody else does.
Let's talk about Kerri Einarson and this team. I mean, have they been on a tear? We should mention congratulations to everybody involved with the Grand Slam events. Rachel Holman winning the first, Bruce Mowat winning absolutely everything. And then, of course, Kerri Einarson and the team winning a 3rd championship inside the bubble. There's been a lot of winning. Let's relive some of those great moments.
bubble life has been very good to Kerri Einarson and her team.
Woo! Oh my, the boss is with us. Kerri, that was you doing all those shots. Yikes.
It's not just me. My team makes them for me.
Incredible sweepers, by the way. Man, they're machines. How are you doing?
Amazing. I'm doing good. I'm just getting excited. We had practice today, and it felt so good to be out there and wearing the maple leaf on our backs.
Kerri, in the mixed doubles celebration, we saw how emotional you were, and we've seen your emotion throughout all of this. Now you're on the eve of this championship, something you were so close to last year. Where is your emotion at tonight?
Oh, just excited. Just want to get going. But it's good. I have a little bit of nerves, which nerves are always good. I always get them before any kind of event. But once I step on that ice, that it just kind of goes away.
Where does it go away to? And how do you get rid of it? Is it just that on the ice, it feels like home?
Yeah. As soon as I step on that ice and deliver that first rock, I'm just get so dialed in and into the game. So everything else just kind of gets put behind me and just focus on the game and my teammates.
Kerri, your record, I'm sure you know this, maybe you don't. Your record, you've played 38 games inside the bubble. You've won 32 of them. It's a remarkable streak you're on. But I'm struck by your intensity and your focus for every event. There's no fans. You've played so many games, and yet you bring it every game. How are you able to amp yourself up and rise up to each moment throughout all of this?
For us, we definitely feed off of each other. That's what we need to do, and we definitely celebrate all those the little shots, even just a wide open hit. Just always supporting each other and getting that energy and drawing that from us, since we don't have those fans there, and just making those big shots when we really need them, and that it just gets us fired.
How's life in the bubble for you? Does it feel like it's long, or does winning just make it everyday party day?
Well, the last couple of weeks have went by pretty fast. I can't believe we're already starting the Women's World. So it's been going by really quickly. Some days do feel slower than others, and really missing my family back home. And I got some early Mother's Day cards from them. So that was pretty special. And I had a pretty good cry when I opened that box up. But just trying to think positive through this whole entire thing. And we're really, I have such great teammates that I can go and talk with them if I'm feeling a little lonely or sad. So it's great to have that support here.
You mentioned the support. I want to pick up on that because it seems to me, and we're going to talk to Coach Heather Nedohin, but it seems to me, Kerri, like you're doing the little things really well. You're being so intentional about everything you do, including, and I hope we can show the picture here, Sophie, of you putting up the Canadian flag in the stands. You're just doing all the little things, Kerri. So can you walk me through how important it is to do those little things to make sure you're staying present throughout all of this?
Yeah, my parents sent me that banner, and we also had a Canada flag. So I told my mom, I was so excited that she had sent this for me because someone back home had made it, and we were going to put it up at our send-off last year, but that ended up being canceled. So we brought it here and we hung it up in the stands, and I was hoping to get my parents' cutouts to put behind them, but I can't seem to find them anywhere. They got lost.
So many fans there. What about the resilience that maybe you built from last year when the disappointment of having the Worlds pulled out from under you at the last second? Did it give you this extra boost or resilience or something?
definitely gave us an extra boost. We wanted to defend our title and get ourselves back. Well, at that point, we didn't know if a Worlds was going to happen, but we definitely wanted to have that opportunity. So we worked really hard in the off season, just doing the little things behind scene. And I think that's really paid off, and having Heather do those things with us and push us to do them. It's been really good. She's making me read. I don't read, but she's been making me read books. And I think it's helping. It's good, and definitely we just persevered and pushed through all the challenges that we've been going through, and when we get hit with something, we just bounce back, and it's just we don't let it get us down.
You were on the ice for practice today. You have played more games than anyone, Kerri, in the bubble. What was it like to be back out there again? And how much can you use having been in this setting to an advantage?
Yeah, we definitely know the atmosphere, what it's going to be like. Very quiet, hearing the toilets flush, hearing like the people talking, so we definitely know what it feels like, and we know what it takes and what we need from each other to draw that extra energy. So I think that will definitely benefit us.
Were you having any nervous thoughts, especially when the news about the 2 tests for Germany came up and the uncertainty of having one day of practice canceled? How did you kind of deal with that without going down a rabbit hole of, oh no, here we go again?
Yeah, I definitely thought that as soon as I woke up. I was like, oh no. Oh boy. But I knew that it would likely be okay because nothing was in this bubble. So it was a team that obviously was traveling over. But my first thought that went through my head was, I hope they're okay. I hope they're feeling okay. Definitely is a scary situation for them. And I was worried for their health more than anything. So I'm glad they are all feeling better.
Wow, she curls great, and she's a saint on top of it. Okay, so so good. Okay, so tomorrow, I'm just going to get the whiteboard for you, Kerri. Sweden, I haven't heard of them, and Czech Republic. Nothing like starting off with a bang against Hasselberg. I mean, you guys have played a lot. How do you approach that game? Do you kind of go there? Do you kind of think about Sweden, or do you go into their team nobody?
Well, we played them this past week, which was nice because we hadn't played them in a while. So it was good to be able to play against them, and we came out with a win. But we know that they're going to come out firing against us tomorrow, and we know we have to play really well. So we're just going to focus on our game and do our thing, and hopefully we come out with a W.
Okay, at this point of the show, I'm hoping we can bring Val Sweeting in because hey Val, it's great to see you. Before we get into this conversation, and I've been resisting the urge to make a joke about what it's like to have 4 skips together and whether or not you figured out how to communicate, but you guys did a wonderful TikTok video, which I'm hoping we can show about being asked if 4 skips can actually figure it out. Let's watch that.
Quite a few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably. Over the.
Who was the director on that, Val?
I think it was Shannon that put that one together and had that idea.
That's brilliant. Very good. How are you doing, Val?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Excited to be
happy to have. What a year you guys have had. You must be just loving all of this.
Yeah, we're on the eve of Worlds. It's crazy. The day's finally come tomorrow.
Awesome. Kerri, we're going to let you go because I know you've got to get ready, do the prep, and you have reading to do, apparently.
Oh, reading. Well. There will be a test.
But good luck to you, Kerri, and good luck to the team. It's always great to see you.
We're pushing her off now. This is
Thank
the Brady
you. Thank
Bunch.
you for having me. It's always so much
Bye,
fun.
Kerri.
See
And-
you.
And we'll bring in Val. And Val, it is so good to have you on the show. You said it. We're on the eve of the Women's World Curling Championship. How does that feel? I mean, here you are. This is happening. It's been an extra long wait for you guys.
Yeah, it's surreal, but very excited. First couple weeks went pretty quickly here, and but we're excited to get started tomorrow.
Did you get reading material as well, Val?
Yes.
Did you all get the same book?
A couple got the same book. Some were personalized. There's been different homework throughout the off season until now, but it's exciting to always expand the mind and keep learning.
Nice.
Val, I want to jump in. We've joked a lot, and I know we've asked you, I'll admit to it as well, about asking you guys about this skip thing. But you guys, from my perspective, watching you have really evolved. You've evolved in so many different ways and have gotten so strong on the ice. Can you walk us through a little bit about what this journey has been like the last couple of years and really meshing and really cementing yourselves as a team?
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey. I think each of us has really owned our positions, and I think that Kerri's been an incredible skip as well, to be that type of leader. And I think that we all just settled in, and we keep learning. We're committed to keep learning. We don't want to stop, and it's been quite the journey so far.
What's your mantra or whatever going into the Worlds? And would you all have this sort of personal statement you say to yourself to make sure you stay even, ready, and everything else?
There's a few kind of, cliche ones that we throw around, but a new one that kind of popped up at the Scotties, but I'm sure you'll hear more about this week, is flipping burgers. Just about, keeping it light, doing what you got to do out there, and, just get in there, get to work. And that's kind of the fun thing that randomly came about in one team meeting.
I love that. We had It's All the Same Oat Bag, and that's based on a Jerry Seinfeld comedy act. No one else would understand it but us. But when we needed it, we'd say, look, this is all the same oat bag. So just keep going. Yeah. What about Anna tomorrow, starting off with that?
I think it'll be a great game. We played them a couple days ago, but it's new surface, new event. Even though it's in the same place, we still got to stick to the process, new rocks. So I think there was opportunities on both sides last game. So we definitely want to come out sharp and have a strong start, because we know that they're a really good team.
So with that new surface, is it a lot different than the other ices that they made? Is that the right grammar? No. Or is it really a noticeable difference between the rocks and the ice? Because even we watching it kind of got used to the pattern of the ice.
Right.
It hasn't been drastically different each time that we've come on. I think that the ice crew has done a really good job of keeping the conditions consistent. First practice was a little bit different today, but that's totally expected because it's all brand new. Just put in, recondition the rocks. So I think tomorrow the surface is going to be broken in, and we have another practice tonight too. So I think we'll settle in pretty quickly.
We saw the photos of the practice and you guys in the uniforms. Val, what is the moment like to put on the maple leaf, knowing you're heading into a World Curling Championship?
Oh, it was so cool. I still get choked up thinking about it.
Tell me about that, because I remember that beautiful moment after the Scotties win a couple of years ago. You were emotional then. It speaks, Val, to how much this game means to you and how much you care about representing your country. I wonder if you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's such an honor, and we're so excited for this opportunity. We know more than anyone not to take it for granted, but I didn't think I would cry here, so sorry.
You're not the first one.
We're super excited.
Yeah, that gives me goosebumps, you talking about that, because I remember the first time putting on a Canada jacket, and there's no feeling like it, and you never get bored with it. So as Devin would always say, thank you for your vulnerability, because I think often when people are watching, they forget how much it means to the curlers to be in this opportunity. Now, top 6, move on. Rate the field for me a little bit, Val, in terms of, we saw the men's be a real dogfight to who was going to be those 6. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's an incredible field. There's a lot of good teams here. Every game is going to be challenging, and regardless of what you may have seen from them the game before. But I think we take it one game at a time. We know what's at stake. We know what we need to do, and we just want to go out there, focus one shot at a time, and just keep doing our thing and focus on what's got us this far already.
What's gotten you here so far is you guys are just magic and making so many shots. Are you going to sleep in your Team Canada jacket tonight, by the way, or no?
It might need a little bit of a break, but yeah, it's so exciting to put it on every time.
Last question, and not to pull more on the emotional heartstrings, but I think about the journey you guys have been in the bubble. It's been long. It's been a grind, Val. Who's motivating you? Who are you thinking about in the quiet of your hotel room or when you step out onto the ice? Who are the people that are motivating you and keeping you going through this?
Just everyone, family, friends, each other. I think that we're doing a really good job of keeping everyone going, and we can feel the love and support from everyone back home. So thank you for that, and we're going to leave it all out there.
Yeah, great answer.
Very good answer.
Good luck.
The pride of Redver, Saskatchewanians. I had to get that in there.
He's always claiming the Saskatchewanians.
Oh yeah, we gotta represent. Awesome province to be from.
Yeah,
awesome, Val. Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
And flip those burgers.
Flip those burgers. I seem to think that maybe Heather Nedohin was behind flipping the burgers. That sounds like something she might say. Let's bring her in right now. Team Canada coach, always keeping it light, always keeping the good vibes going. Here she is, coach. How are you, Heather? It's great to see you.
Thank you. Hi, you both. Wow, I'm so thankful to be able to see that. Those girls did awesome. And good vibes. I love it.
Yeah.
And it was all Val.
Was it Val?
Somebody got into her kitchen and she didn't like that. So she was at the tea line. She's like, you can't be in my kitchen. And so we said, flipping burgers. And she was, she owned it. I love it.
Yeah, that's good. Better than your expression, by the way, that you made famous. But let's not go there.
That's so pass.
It didn't pass. We're over it. But my memory is long on some things. Okay, show us your background there, Heather. Look, you decorated the room.
This is my little temporary office.
Nice. So you've got the Canadian flag, and what are the pictures?
Well, we're all about the pack. So this is my pack, is my family. So when the girls are talking about the books we're reading, one of them is Wolfpack, and it's about embracing women and coming out and celebrating each other's successes. As women collectively, we need to stick together and get through this, right? All of us. So it's I really am so thankful when I hear Kerri kind of giggling that I make her read. Well, it's a journey, and as you know, Colleen, we got to embrace our improvements all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. When you talked to us, however long ago, you talked about when you started coaching them, you had to figure out how to make a great team just this much better. Other than making them read and decorating your room so awesome, what's the Heather Nedohin touch?
Honestly, I think it's getting to know each individual player personally and understanding what makes them drive and what makes them the player they are, and understanding them. And, and I feel privileged to be such a part of such an elite dynamic where, the four skips idea. but they've really honed who they are in their position and their roles, and they're really dedicated to making and embracing themselves to be better athletes, but also better people. And so honestly, it's just getting to know my athletes and what drives them.
I want to jump in, and you know, we saw the vulnerability of Val there, Heather. You and I were having some exchanges, and you were sharing about the little things you're doing behind the scenes, and then you talk about being better people and better curlers. Those two things run parallel, don't they? And I think we're seeing that more and more and more in sport. Is the more you can do those little things away from the field of play, it elevates you, and it seems like you've really honed in on that.
Thanks. Yeah, you know, we have to embrace this time together. And I say, you know, the bubble can be a challenging time, but I made to get this honestly. We're having a ton of fun here. We're playing cards. They're walking in the parking lot. They're there for each other. And again, when I hear that, we have to celebrate ourselves, because there isn't that roar of the crowd and the excitement that you get when you walk into a restaurant and they're like, we just watched you on TV and now you're here right beside me. Like, you miss those moments. So yet those distractions aren't here. So it's kind of it's a good thing too. We really draw our energy from each other and build each other up.
So how do you keep them in the bubble when you have a few distractions? For example, what's gone on with Germany as we await news whether or not they're going to be able to play or not. So how do you make sure they don't worry about that and that they just stay in their bubble, in the bubble?
Yeah, and you know, we have to realize and trust the health experts are doing what they need to do, and the protocols and everything that are in place are protecting, you know, not just the athletes, but the volunteers and the officials, everybody that's making this bubble operational. And so honestly, we are the 6 of us, the 7 of us, and, you know, as we grow a little bit with extra help, but it's just keeping to ourselves and maintaining the distance and everything. But we're having fun. Like, it's, you know, it's doing yoga, it's riding the bike, it's outside walking, it's playing games, it's doing everything else and touching base with family. I must say that's been a huge part of our keeping grounded.
Yeah.
You keep rising to the challenge, but you're in the same venue, and you said it, there are no fans. I don't want this to sound like a dumb question, but have you been able to distinguish one event from the other and the level of importance and rising up from one big game to the other? To me, when we're watching it, it all kind of blurs together. Mm-hmm. How do you make sure you rise up to, okay, that was a slam, let's leave that there. Now it's a women's world championship. Maybe walk me through that, Heather.
Well, we're looking at it as a book. It's a journey, and we're on chapter 3. Mm. And so chapter 3 has a part A and a part B. And along there's going to be some interesting little things that happen along the way. So honestly, we've broken it down into chapters and just keeping it simple. And, you know, with the girls, honestly, you can't like all of a sudden start playing, you know, well, Val played 100%, so it's hard to say that, but you know, you can't expect it, because now it's a bigger event, I got to play better. You got to bring it every time. And so the girls are preparing their next game as they would for the next game and the next game. They're just keeping and building and paying attention to the details. How can we improve every time we step onto the ice? Just that little bit, right? That's it. That's all we can ask. A personal best.
Yeah. What did you learn from your worlds that you can bring to this too?
I think, as I explained, actually Renee and I were saying, is that all teams bring their A game against Canada, right? And good for them and good for us, because it brings out the best in us. But don't expect there to be a game where you can let off ever. Right? This is where I'm really appreciative of the Players' Championship, because that quality, that caliber every game was spectacular, right? Like every game was high quality, and that's what we need. And that makes us better players. So I thrive on that. I think that's fantastic. Bring it every time.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered about that. I wondered about whether you worried about fatigue and how many events were going to be taking place, Heather. But it sounds like you're looking at it as an advantage.
Well, I think, we've got to be smart about it. We've got to have recovery. We have to have time alone to ourselves. We've got to be able to just be together or not. So, yeah, it's smart planning along the way every day.
Smart planning. Bravo. Well, listen, when you mentioned about you've been having fun in the bubble, I can say Heather Nedohin only knows how to have
There it is.
Oh, you know what? That's for my Sure Park Curling Club at home. Curling Alberta is doing a 50-50 draw every day. So if you buy a 50-50 ticket and support your curling club, portions of it goes back to the local club. So that's what I put on my blue curling club hoodie after we won. And yeah, you got to have fun.
Can I buy a 50-50 ticket? I'm feeling lucky.
Unfortunately, you're not from Alberta.
Oh, darn it.
I know.
I was going to win that. I just. Anyhow, great to see you again, Heather.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Outstanding, Heather. And when I hear you talk about the chapters, here's hoping for a storybook ending for Canada. So play well. Good luck. You have an entire country behind you. So I know you'll give it your all. So thank you for making the time.
You're welcome. Enjoy. Thank you, everybody. And thanks for the good vibes everyone is sending. We appreciate it.
So many good vibes. Awesome.
You and I, we're all about the vibes, Colleen.
Vibes.
It sounds
like vibes.
It can make a difference. And just hearing all of them, you think about that situation, and we've heard other curlers reflect on their time in the bubble and how much of a grind it is. This team has been in there more than as much as anyone, if not more. And yet you hear them tonight and they're ready. You don't get any sense of ambivalence or lack of focus at all.
No. And I mean, it is so, the bubble would be a lot easier when you're winning like them.
Right.
If you weren't winning like them, maybe the bubble feels like, wow, this bubble's a long, long, long time, right? Because losing just isn't fun.
No.
Winning is so much fun.
Yes.
And
well, somebody who knows a lot about winning and coaching Sweden and has been in the bubble a lot, Wayne Middaugh. And it's always great to have Wayne on the show. Wayne, it's great to see you. You have been in that bubble a long time. How are you? How are you, Wayne?
I'm very well, thank you.
Awesome.
And I know you've got to go to another practice today, do you?
Yes, we do. Just not long after this is over.
Awesome. Well, we won't keep you, but tell me, how's Team Sweden looking?
They look very good. They're, everything we've done to knock the rust off from, literally sitting at a hotel room hearing we weren't playing a world championship to 13 months later playing in one. There's some serious rust to knock off. So we did that and worked our way through the last two events and improved drastically, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, I wondered about that. I wondered just about the communication you guys have had through all of this. And Wayne, just like everyone else in this world in the pandemic, it's been a moving target of clarity and knowing what's going to happen. So how did you guys communicate, make sure you were still staying focused and knowing that there could be a prize at the end of this? But we didn't find out, until quite recently, to be honest, right?
Yeah, we kept in touch. We did everything I'm sure everybody else does. We did all the Zoom meetings. The team practiced, did a few special events with Nick Eden was one. And, they kept on the ice as much as humanly possible during this worldwide pandemic. And but most importantly, I think they stayed healthy, stayed focused, and managed to survive their way through it. Nobody had COVID at any point. So, like I say, I think that's very positive now that they've been able to come here and stay healthy again. And, are very fortunate to be able to play.
Mm-hmm. No kidding. Let's go back to you playing in the Brier. Let's just segue away from the women's worlds for a second. Does that almost seem like a dream now? And does it feel like forever ago? And are you going to come out of retirement, Wayne?
I'm not coming out of retirement, Billy. Not a chance. I still to this day, what is it, 3 weeks now? I couldn't throw a rock if I wanted to today.
Oh, stop. You would have said that before the start of the Brier too. Come on.
No, it was truly a blast. I can't express to you how much fun it was. Again, I said to you before that Glenn and I were back in the room more than once giggling every time we won a game, just like we were two very newbies at a Brier. We couldn't believe we were racking up wins, and it was a ton of fun to be able to do that. Glenn prepared the team to be our best. You know what? I almost feel bad actually for Scott and Dave and Tim, who played fantastic, had a great Brier, and come the end of the week, their skip just ran out of gas on them.
I'm not sure that was the case, but we'll go back and we'll double source that one, Wayne. But listen, we had Anna on the show, and she was joking around and having some fun about all these great shots you were making. She goes, geez, the coach has got it. We knew he had it, but he's got it. Did you guys share some conversations about that and have some laughs over that of them being able to watch you do your thing? And you know, what were you able to share from the ice and that experience in the venue?
You know what? That's probably the best thing is I did pick up, you know, how to be comfortable here in the venue, and I was able to pass on to them. You know, you do have a lot of downtime, and make sure you bring some things that'll help you through the downtime. And Anna took me real serious and brought her husband and daughter Mira, so she's had no trouble keeping busy. She's really doesn't have any downtime in the bubble, and the rest of the team has just embraced every part of it. And you know what? Like I say, they're really doing a good job here of staying healthy. Doing all the protocols that need to be done, and they're ready to curl.
Yeah. Okay, we do have a little shot of you. You can tell us more about this picture of for some reason, you're very famous for the Caesars. I don't know how this became a thing, but there's your tweet. Early start. How early does #Caesar Sunday begin?
You know what? I'm not going to lie. It's pretty rare that I don't go anywhere where there's not a cocktail available, and I always have some in my room. But on the other side, I'm a bit of a social drinker, so I like people around. So I found that part of the bubble very difficult, is that you really don't see anybody. It's not like you can sit out in your patio. So that just happened to be a very warm day where there were teams out walking around the parking lot. And while they were out walking, and then I can see out my window now that Pia Lindholm is running laps for like the last hour and a half. So I really like to sit out there and have a Caesar and applaud them every time they go by.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like living in Wayne's world, eh?
Very much so. And you know what? I miss my friend Sherry, who she has the most Caesars with me, and she's not afraid to have one any day of the week either.
No kidding. Yeah, you've been there for a long time. Can we show some pictures of you conversing with the team? I think this was at the last World Championship. But Wayne, I was so impressed, and maybe you can shed a little more light on this for us about the communication between you guys, because during the slam, I was just so impressed with how you guys communicated during timeouts. It appeared to me like you guys were more on the same page than ever, but maybe you can share some perspective on that.
Well, I'll be the first to say it's very much a two-way street on the team. You know what? They're fantastic, and they constantly ask me about situations and strategy. And even after the games are over, you know, when we were first getting together and getting to know each other, it was nonstop talks about strategy and everything else. And I commend the team again for when we first got together. They laid out, you know what, when we have a timeout, this is the way we want you to proceed. We don't, you know, you only get 60 seconds, and it literally goes by in a snap of a finger. And we want you to come out and tell us what, you know, you're not out there to feel our temperature and what's going on and get the feels of the game. You're sitting there watching, you know, the feels of the game. Right. Tell us the right shot to play. Tell us this is the best option and what's going to happen next.
Wow.
So that's what I do. I try and shape that down into you know 60 seconds and give the team some direction going forward. And that's my, you know, at the World Championship, you only get one time out for the entire game, which is tough in a 10-inning game. The slams we get 2, which is kind of nice.
In an 8-inning game.
Yeah, in an 8-inning game. So
Right.
you know what, and my, you know, Richard Hart always said to me, if you can help the team 1 point on the scoreboard in any way, shape, or form, he said, you're doing a good job as a coach. So that's what I try and do in my 60-second timeout.
Yeah, well said. You know, when we had Nick Edin on the show before the World Men's began, he talked about the importance of the Worlds for Sweden, that, you know, they kind of focus the year on Worlds and Olympics. You know, they love playing in the Grand Slams. But do you find that with Anna's team as well? Or can you describe sort of the importance of the World Championship and making sure you get that Olympic berth?
Yeah, that is important. But you know what? Anna's team focuses on every game the same. Every game is super important to them. The Worlds are, yeah, of course, they're the World Championships. They're important, but they prepare for every game exactly the same. It doesn't matter who they're playing, when they're playing, what event it is. I've never seen a team give 110% every game. This team gives 120. Like, it's unbelievable whether we're playing, the C qualifier in a spiel somewhere, or they're playing, the world semifinal. It's the same preparation all the time, and they do it very well.
Just picking up on same preparation, you're reading my mind here, Wayne, because you go to enough bonspiels and the format is the same and the times are the same and the practice times are the same. We had the positive cases. We had the practice canceled yesterday. I think you have 2 practices today. How did you guys have to talk about, wrapping your heads around there might be changes and things we can't control, but we have to control what we can?
Yeah, and that's right. We did that, when we arrived in the bubble here, whatever it was, 3 weeks ago, we did that. But you know what? You're in a bubble. There's COVID around us. There could be changes. So we dealt with that and put it behind us. And then now that we're here, when game time comes, we have a pregame preparation, and we just go through all the motions. Like I say, it doesn't matter what game it is. Every game is important to this team. Anna Hasselberg is probably the only person that I would put out right up there beside me as someone who just hates to lose. And will do everything possible to make sure she wins.
That's a big claim. That's a big claim.
Yeah, nice. Well, you've got practice to go to, Mr. Man. No Caesars in your life.
No, not today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So nice to see you, and lots of luck.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. We'll do great. I appreciate you. And I just want to say the same thing. Hi to my family back home, Kelly, Emily, and Sherry. Wish you guys lots. Be home, another couple weeks.
Awesome. Great stuff, Wayne. Good luck. Good luck the rest of the way. Thank you.
Cheers.
Awesome.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the emotion. This wears people down. It is, here we are in Toronto. You're in Nova Scotia, Colleen. We are locked down, and they are locked down in the bubble. This is hard. This is hard.
It's hard for everybody, and Wayne adores Sherry. Everybody knows that, so he would miss her totally. But for everybody that's watching, we hope you're certainly safe too, because it's easy when we're talking about curling, that we have to remember that such a outside of the bubble, it's a whole other world right now in Canada. So. The lockdown is stressful for everybody, isn't it? Anyhow, what are we going to talk about now?
Well, you get the whiteboard. I'm going to update. I've been getting messages.
Oh, good. You read that. You read that while I talk.
Well, I've been getting messages from Team Germany throughout. They still haven't heard anything, and I want to go back and clarify. They still haven't been cleared to practice tonight.
Okay.
So that's an important clarification. So at time of broadcast, because I know people watch us after the fact, at this point of the show, I'm going on longer, so you got to hold that whiteboard. Germany is still in the balance, still waiting to find out whether or not they're going to get a practice in. And again, you're going to go to draw 1. They're supposed to be on the ice first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, against RCF, and then they have a game against the United States. And so, even for Russia Curling Federation and the Americans, how they plan their day,
right?
They go into tonight is with the same uncertainty that Germany has, and I feel really badly for Germany to be, dreaming and excited about their world championship, and then to have the hurt of 2 positive COVID tests.
Right.
Other games tomorrow on day 1, of course, we've talked about Canada, Sweden, Canada versus the Czech Republic too, and I think if there's one takeaway from what we've heard from Team Canada and then Wayne Middaugh, it's just the intensity and the love these teams play the game with. That
right.
This is a world championship, but they approach every single game the exact same way, with this intensity and drive and desire to win. So it's nice to see. It's been nice to be back.
Well, it has been nice to be back, but like you say, it has been a grind. We've had more curling, and thank you. We're getting some really nice notes. It's always great to hear from the curling fans, not only across Canada, but around the world. You guys have been great throughout all of this. the Women's World Curling Championship. We've been waiting for this. It's gonna be a battle. You have said it. It is gonna be a battle. We saw Canada, the men, they had to scrap and claw their way into that quarterfinal to get a qualifying berth. This is not going to be easy. And I want to make sure not to caution people, but remember these tournaments that Canada are going into, Colleen, it's not like a few years ago where it was a guaranteed podium finish, right?
Well, trust me, as a gal that lost 4 world championships, it was never a guaranteed. It was a myth that it was a guaranteed. I've said this before. I think one of the best things that's happened has been the growth and strength of the other countries.
Right.
Because nobody wants to watch the same 2 or 3 teams over and over and over again. Right. But, you look at Terrazzoni and that team, and I know in some ways you're saying the defending champion, it seems so long ago, but they can do what Adine did with the back.
Well, and to that point, we saw how well they curled in the slams, right?
Oh, so they're a sensational team. Hasselborg, Wayne alluded to the fact that she doesn't have any downtime with her husband and young son in the bubble. I'm sure she loves having them because when she was on the show with us, she did, that was important for her. Canada, they're just looking so strong. Scotland's Muirhead, that's going to be interesting to see how they perform. That's like Eve is so good. Yep. The Garlic girls from Korea, Japan with it'll be interesting. Kovaleva, I think they're a really strong team, the Russian team. The Americans have Peterson. They're a very good team, coached by Lainey Peters. We went to several championships.
We didn't even get into these Canadian coaches leaving to go to other teams. We won't get into that debate tonight.
That should be a debate for another day. And again, when you look down the way, the only question marks, DuPont has had strong world championships.
Yes.
So when we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's still a solid 3 teams behind them. It's their first trip for Han Yu from China. Estonia, this is their debut, of course.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, and Heather makes the great point. When you have the maple leaf on your back, that is a target, and people will elevate their games. We saw the Korean team elevate their game against Boccia, the first ever win. We saw the Russian Curling Federation raise their game, the first ever win against Canada. So this is the blessing and the curse of what it means to be a Canadian curler.
Well, by the way, I think that Russia Curling Federation.
They're good.
They're so good. But I also think it's not that the teams, they raise their game in a way. They just don't have the same pressure. So they go in and go, oh, it's Canada. Let's just go play the game.
Right.
They don't think too much about it. And then they can have the next game. They are thinking too much. I guess the key, Devin, is just don't think ever. What do you think?
I hope people out there on Twitter are quoting Colleen, just don't think.
Yeah, don't think. That was Kim Kelly's best thing. She realized all those years of curling with Kim, she was like,
that's the most motivational thing you've ever said to me. To wrap this thing up, curling is back. It starts tomorrow morning. Of course, Canada versus Sweden in the afternoon draw, and then in the evening, Canada versus Czech Republic. Colleen and I will be back next Friday, Saturday, Sunday to guide you right into not only Championship Sunday, but more importantly, Mother's Day.
Oh, I was going to say, what else are we guiding people into? Mother's Day. Oh,
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I'm never forgetting about my mom back home.
Yeah, we have to have her on the show on Mother's Day.
Her and I had a conversation about that. We're working on it. But of course, she reminds everybody to keep the houses clean. It's going to be a great start to this event, and we can't wait to see you next weekend for championship finish and Mother's Day, like I said.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we will see you. When did you tell me? Next Friday. I'm going to show up.
Don't think, says Colleen.
I'm in lockdown in my bedroom. You're in lockdown, so I'm not going anywhere. So
awesome.
I'm
here. We'll be on Twitter. We know you'll be watching the curling. Enjoy it. Good night. Good luck. Good curling. Thanks, Sophie.
Thanks, Sophie.